Hello and welcome back to Solutions with Lane. If you're new here, I'm Lane. I'm a hypnotist here to teach you about manifestation as awareness and not through effort. I also have a membership if you would like to join it. Just click down below this video. It should show a button that says join. I'm going to be doing weekly live streams to where I can answer all of your questions. There's also exclusive content in that channel membership. Okay. And I also have group if you want to join my new group. It's called the Conscious Integration Circle. We do a little bit of hypnosis, a little bit of coaching and support, work there. And we also do a little bit of integration parts therapy, which is integrating two parts of yourself or whatever you need to work through, integrating them together and rising together. Okay. So that's all available. It's going to be linked below as well. You can also join for one-on-one coaching. That's something that you're interested in. I also have mini courses. I have 5 mini courses. If you want to go check them out, it's all about stopping overthinking, getting your person back, knowing what it means to be awareness and the essence behind everything. It's really cool courses. All right. So go check them out. Let's dive into the video. So if you've been watching my shorts content or you follow me over on the TikTok, I've been posting about you are not your thoughts and getting people out of the ego, right? Because we get so identified with thoughts that it becomes a little tricky sometimes to get out of your mind and back into the present moment. So that's what this video is going to be about. As I talked about in my last video, which you might notice wearing the same shirt, we're going back to back here. But anyways, like I talked about in the last video, awareness is everything. Awareness holds space for all things. That includes your thoughts and your emotions. Thoughts are not bad or good. Emotions are not bad or good, positive or negative. One is no better than the other. Thoughts are not intrusive. I want to debunk all of that shit now. The only time that you might think that, or that you might be hearing that from other people, your thoughts matter, got to flip your thoughts. Your thoughts manifest. That's all coming from ego. That person is teaching from ego, which, hey, you know what? We've all been there. You're only teaching from the point of consciousness that you feel, the point of consciousness that you are at that you feel would be helpful. And you know what? It's still a little level above being fully unconscious and not believing in any of this shit. So it is what it is. That person's on their own journey. But for you, as a person here on this channel, I want to break the news to you. Hey, you are not your thoughts, no matter how identified you have been with them. You do not have to flip your thoughts. You don't need to do anything with your thoughts. You don't even need to tell a new story to be able to manifest what you do want. None of that is necessary. And if you've been following me for a little bit, you know that I used to teach that kind of stuff, right? I'm a hypnotist. I teach about I need to reprogram beliefs. That's what I used to be about. Inner conversations, tell a new story. That's all you have to do. Those things work, but it's still coming from ego. You're still going to have to do a lot of trying to maintain and it's just a lot of work. It's exhausting. I know because I lived it for many years, especially teaching it. And even with my clients, they got results. But at the same time, it was always a hassle to try to maintain manifestations, right? Because we'd always fall back into our thoughts because we started believing back in our thoughts. I say we because clients and me. So how do we break out of this? We get into the present moment. Now that we know we are not our thoughts, we are not our emotions, awareness holds space for all of these things. There is no positive or negative or intrusive or one's better than the other. There's none of that. Awareness holds space for everything. It's allowed to exist. It does not mean you have to identify with it. Awareness is the observer behind all things. When you're observing something, you're not giving any meaning to anything. You're just letting it be there, right? So I'll give you an example of what I mean by observing. The other day I was sitting in my backyard. It's fall time, so the leaves are all changing and falling down, and there's still a couple birds left in trees that I'm sure are going to migrate soon. But I could hear them chirping. So I was, using my eyes, and I was looking around and whatnot, and I was observing. I didn't have meaning to anything. I was just observing the colors of the trees. I was observing the sounds that the birds were making. I was observing the cold chill in the air. I was observing all of those things for a few moments, right? Just being present. I wasn't having any thoughts for a few moments, just observing and soaking it all in. So I'm able to explain it to where I could, feel the temperature in the air, the different colors of the leaves, the sounds of the birds. Because I was present, I was observing all of those things. But then I noticed some thoughts starting to creep in. Well, how come I can't see the birds? Why are the birds still here? How come they haven't migrated yet? It's kind of cold. Hope they don't die. I don't want them to die. That would fucking suck. And I had this narration, right? I was out of the observer mode and starting to identify with thought. Starting to get curious. Well, why is this happening? Why is that happening? Labeling things. Oh, it's fall time. Oh, these leaves, and they're all over the place. And I got to call my lawn guy and come take care of them and mulch them up and da-da-da-da, right? And I started going down different rabbit holes, which is completely fine. I mean, it's not major stories about anything, but that's how quick and easy my mind was able to pull me back into ego, pull me back into a character and out of the observer. So my job then is to go beyond. Oh shit, I was just thinking about it. Why the fuck am I thinking about leaves? Why am I thinking about birds? Like, I was just enjoying myself. Like, what? And then I'll go right back into observing, just looking at everything, not labeling anything, not trying to figure out anything, not analyzing, not judging. Stop identifying. And that's what I do all day long. And you might think, Lane, that's exhausting. No. It's your natural state. It's not exhausting. You know what exhausting is? When you're identifying with thought, when you're going down these rabbit holes of thinking this or that and just randomly getting pulled in, right? Now I'll give you another example. This is how I know that we aren't our thoughts, because I wouldn't be able to pull my attention back away from thought. You wouldn't be able to do that. That's why I shared this example. I wouldn't have had a mind that's quiet, just observing and taking it all in. If I was my thoughts, if I was my emotions, I would sit in it. I wouldn't be able to stop it. And sometimes it might feel like that because we've allowed thoughts to be in such control. But as soon as you start practicing this in a very short amount of time, you'll notice there's more space between each thought, more quietness, more peace. Because you're really starting to go home back to awareness. Okay? So if you got an overthinking mind, ADHD, ADD, OCD, all the different labels, stop, for one, labeling yourself with that. That is, again, a label from the ego, somebody else's ego, identifying you as this person, and now you've taken on that identity. So we want to get out of that and break that cycle. But start practicing this, returning to presence. You can return to presence by surroundings, like I did, sitting outside, feeling the cool air, seeing different things, hearing different things in my surroundings. Another thing I do is breath. I put my attention on my breath, feeling my lungs expand, feeling my heart pumping, and feeling me exhale. You can also put your attention on your body. Sometimes I'll put it on my chest, again, feeling my heartbeat. Sometimes I'll put it on my hands. Sometimes I'll put it on my eyes. If my eyes are very, like being on my phone all day, doing content and coaching and stuff, sometimes my eyes get really sensitive. So I'll put them on my eyes and just relax. That's all that you have to do to be present. And it breaks the thought pattern in the loop to where you're no longer spiraling, even if it's not a bad, thought. Again, thinking about birds and trees and the weather is not a bad thought, but it's still thought. It's still something I was identifying with and telling stories about and giving meaning to when everything is meaningless. There's nothing to have stories about. That means I was a character, and I don't want to be any character. I want to be me. Me as awareness, not this human self that has so many limitations and flaws and imperfections, that judges, that doesn't feel whole and complete outside of having certain things. I want to be me as awareness, to where I feel whole and complete, where I feel bliss, I feel connected to all things, where life is just beautiful. Life is more vivid and colorful. I feel such an inner peace and calmness. That's who I want to be. That feels a hell of a lot better than Lane, this human character, judgmental, perfectionist self that I was constantly trying to change, constantly trying to reprogram, because nothing was ever good enough. So if you find yourself in that habit, to that pattern, you do those things because you want to be able to go home, but you don't know where home is. You keep getting told home's that way. No, home's that way. No, home's that way. No, home's this way. It's right here. It's consciousness, our true selves. So if you want to go home, you do that by being present. Okay? So that's going to be the video for today. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys. And remember, you are not your thoughts. You're not your emotions. And anytime that you see yourself thinking, analyzing, judging, giving meaning to, telling stories about, trying to figure out or fix or heal or change, you're identified with the mind. You're identified with the ego. So go back into the present moment. That will start to dissolve your identification with these different characters. Identification with the ego. You'll go beyond it. And that's when you'll start to feel the inner peace. You'll start to notice more space in between thoughts, more wholeness in between thoughts. Your state will naturally shift because now you're not identified with anything. And then you'll see things manifest. But the best thing that can happen, and you'll start to shift your view on this too, it's not the manifestation. It's the inner peace, the inner wholeness, the inner love and connection that you feel. That words can't describe it. I'm doing my best here, with being a human, trying to describe things. But words don't give it the credit that it really needs. You have to experience it for yourself. So practice going into presence. And my mini courses break all of this down if that's something that you were interested in. Start with the awareness reset. It's free. It's the foundation to everything that I teach here in my channel videos. And then obviously there's other courses that go in deeper on different topics. So go check those things out. But I just leave you with that, Practice presence. I'm telling you, it's life-changing, guys. And yes, you will get your manifestation, but by the end of it, you won't even care about the manifestation because you'll just feel so good. And then that's when you can truly enjoy the full manifestation and not move on to, well, what's the next thing that I'm going to manifest? That's another trap on its own, which I can make a video about. But okay, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Remember, as awareness, you got this.